All right, in this video, we're going to be working with different types of shapes. Three types of shapes that we've already discussed are geometric, which would be your circles, triangles, and squares and rectangles; organic shapes, which would be fruits, vegetables, trees, animals, different kinds of plants; and freeform shapes or abstract shapes. The first step in this project is to draw a horizontal line near the bottom of your page. I'm going to hold it like this. Sometimes it's easier to hold your ruler vertically. So if I turn my paper the tall way and I move this ruler even with the bottom up just a couple of inches. If you have a larger paper, you might want that space to be bigger. Hold the ruler down tightly and then draw your horizontal line across the bottom of the page. For right now, you're not going to draw anything at this bottom. You would write your name here. At the top of the page, I want you to draw, I would say 8 or 9 geometric shapes. If your paper is bigger, you want bigger shapes to fill up the space. So I'm going to tilt them too. Try not to keep any of the shapes lines horizontal with the bottom. Try to keep them tilted or on a diagonal. So I'm going to draw a few triangles going in different directions. I might draw a circle or a half circle. I think over here I'll do a half circle. Maybe I will do an oval. You can draw them by hand, you can draw them with your ruler, or you can look for a template. I think I will draw a nice big hexagon right in the middle. Since my paper is smaller, I might not be able to fit as many shapes. If you have a larger paper, you might fit more. Now, I want to make sure my shapes don't overlap. I think over here I will draw part of a rectangle going off the page, and over here I will draw part of a rhombus up in the corner. Now you should add one or two freeform shapes. Perhaps I'll draw one up here. Don't make them too complicated. I think maybe I'll draw another one over here, small one. Then I'm going to draw several organic shapes. I think I'll do a carrot right here. I'm using a template. You may use the template if you like, or you may decide to draw your own. Sometimes carrots have those little marks on them. And perhaps I will draw a little pig. I would not draw too many complicated shapes because that will make it harder for you when you're working on the next step. Okay, I'm using a felt pen right now. Your first step might be better with a pencil just in case you make a mistake, and then you can change over to a felt pen later. Now what we're going to be doing for our next step, I think this is nice and full. If you have a big gap somewhere, you should have another shape. If you'd like to show me before you start, then I think that would be a good idea. My ruler is now going to be in the vertical position. I'm a righty, so when I use my ruler, I'm going to hold it down with my left hand, and I'm going to push it across the page. You can go in either direction, so I think I'm going to go from the right to the left because then I won't smear my lines. When my ruler slides across the page, when I come to a place on a shape that changes directions, like the point of this rectangle, I'm going to draw a vertical line straight down, but I'm going to stop when I reach that horizontal line. Then I'll slide my ruler across. If I bump into any shapes, there's my edge of my freeform shape, that shape is going to also get a line going down. But I do not ever cross over another shape. Once I bump into the shape, I stop. Then I slide my ruler along. Up the edge of this square needs to go down and stop when I hit the vertical line. Now I have the carrot. You can see the edges of that carrot right there. Oh, and there's another edge of the carrot right down to the end. Moving myself across. Here's another place on my carrot. Now look at that little tiny line. It's only going to stop right at the carrot. There's the point of my triangle. That goes down and stops when it bumps into the carrot. These curvy lines are kind of hard to figure out. If you want to try putting a line in on one or two where the curves stop, you don't need too many on curvy lines. When I come across, there's the end of the triangle. Going to stop when I bump into the caret. When I go to this triangle, I don't need to draw it because it's going to cross over the triangle. I need to stop right there. Don't have to draw that one at all. I'm going to move across. Now I'm going to just draw these, and you can tell me whether I need them or not. I missed one right there. And I think I should put one at the edge of this caret right here. I'm going to go along. Do I need to draw this one? Do I need to draw this one? Oh, I forgot my little pig. See what I mean about a shape that's very complicated? You may have quite a few lines coming down from that shape. I'm just about to the end. Oh, the pig can go all the way down to the end by this little foot. Oh, that has to stop right there. Little pig's tail stops right there. All right, we have just a few more lines and we'll be all done. And I missed one line. Can anyone find where it is? Okay. Now, what do you think drawing those lines did to all the shapes? All right, once that is done, I started adding details on another drawing. You want to start making these shapes that now look three-dimensional into different kinds of buildings. I had a circle that I made into a planetarium. I have an aquarium. This one has bubbles on it, so maybe I'll make that a car wash. Maybe I'll make a bigger door right here so the cars can come through. And then I'll put the sign on. So you want to invent different kinds of buildings. Please don't forget the windows and doors, and the details are the most important. I'll show you my finished picture that's all colored in. And if you notice all the different things that I've added, I outlined everything with a felt pen. I tried to put a little humor in it. I have a poor little guy hanging on to the clock tower. I have a veggie rama that's made out of the carrot. I have a clown that is a circus toy store. I have a shrinky-dink place where you go in, you're a giant, and then you come out and you're not a giant anymore. I have a police station. I have a restaurant with a pub. I have apartment building. I have a museum of natural history, a pet store, and a candy store. Also, down below, when you're done, you can create a sidewalk in front of your city by drawing a second horizontal line. And then if you'd like to make that look three-dimensional, if you start in the center and you draw a vertical line, then each time you draw a new line, you tilt your ruler just a little bit more diagonal toward the edge of the paper you're drawing. This will make your sidewalk look three-dimensional. Then when I do the other side, I'm going to tilt my ruler slightly to the right when I go to the right. A little bit more for each time I draw a line. And then if I drew a second line underneath that, it would look like the sidewalk was three-dimensional. And then I draw little vertical lines right at the edge. That's how I did a sidewalk. That sidewalk could be along a river, it could be at the edge of a park, could be a street down below, and you're going to make all the interesting signs and colors of your buildings.